any ball, any direct play, any set piece, they can score a goal. We cannot rely on that, but the things that we had to control, I think we did them and played really well.
Tell us about the way the goal came about. Is that something that's been worked a lot on the training pitch?
Yeah, we do, obviously, and I think it's a great action. And when I saw B getting the ball, and I called his name, and luckily he laid it off for me, and I knew I had to hit it first time, and I trust my left foot there as well, luckily. And like I said, I knew I had to hit it first time and try to hit it back post, and it went in, nicely.
The goalkeeper today, how big a decision was that to play David Raya? What was you thinking?
For me, it's like playing Fabio Vieira. It's nothing different. I have 11 players. They have to pick, and I will pick them. And we want 2 players that are top. And I know that culturally is different, but I will change the centre back, and I did it with Gabi. I will change the fullback. I have 11 players. They have to pick, and I will pick them. And we want 2 players that are top. And I know that culturally is different, but I will change the centre back, and I did it with Gabi. I will change the fullback. I will change the keeper, and it's okay.
Where do you think you are now in your performance? You've just got 1 point on the board in terms of a challenge here so early into the season.
The challenge is the reality. I was expecting us to get more points on the season, on the board from the feel of the group in pre-season. The performance levels have been there. I don't think we're a million miles off today. You just play a really top side, and I thought they played very well. The performance levels have been, but the details kill you in football. The details at both ends of the pitch. We've been guilty on both ends, quite obviously, and that's the effective part of football. The bit in the middle. You can all, talk about styles and ways of playing, all of that. But at the end of the day, the 2 boxes are the most important thing, and we're getting punished in one, and we're not taking advantage of the other.
And maybe we'll come on to them defensively in a while. And he can talk about styles, but in essence today, that was really, really comfortable, wasn't it, for Arsenal?
For Arsenal it was, yeah. I mean, Arsenal have found it difficult at Goodison in recent seasons, lost more often than not, and they would have come to Goodison today expecting a difficult game, a really intense performance from Everton. I think in Sean Dyche's first game last season, I think the blueprint was set of how Everton should be playing. I've played in so many games where teams come to Goodison Park, you get in their faces, you make it intense, you press, you win the ball back, you make contact with the opposition. And this is last season.
His first game in charge,
and this is at less than a minute into the game. Arsenal trying to knock the ball around, they're not allowed to. Mikalenko making contact, forces them back. Yes, it was a foul, but Arsenal certainly knew they were in a game. Odegaard having to replace his boot. This was 20 seconds later. Everton midfielders running forward, not overly concerned with what's behind them because that's somebody else's job. Let's get forward, win the ball back high up, and from this position, it's so much easier to counter-attack. Bodies into the opposition penalty area. It didn't work out on that occasion, but they set their stall out early in that game and went on to win it eventually. This was today. This was Everton's reaction from the kickoff. I'm just going to run this through. Everton don't actually show any intensity. They want to just drop off. They want Arsenal to have the ball. And we're talking about a team that potentially could go for the title this season. They don't put any pressure on. Not sure if they're forcing Arsenal down one side of the pitch or not. Doesn't seem quite clear. Then you see Decore and McNeil doing the full-back's job. Get into midfield, force the opposition down.
Which is what they did in February.
Absolutely. But look how easy that pass is across midfield to Declan Rice. Now they can switch the play. Arsenal, now suddenly the whole team's got to come across to the other side of the pitch, and Arsenal comfortable early in the game, where Goodison Park is an intense place to play football. When the home team are on form, the crowd want to get involved. They don't allow the opposition midfield to feel comfortable. Yet today, I mean, look how passive Everton are as a team. Declan Rice won't believe he's come to Goodison Park and had this much time on the ball. But OK, Everton eventually force Arsenal down one side of the pitch. They've got 3v2. Go and make that contact that we saw last season. Go and make a tackle, put a foot in, make a foul if you need to. Nope, Arsenal comfortable inside Everton's penalty area. And this was Arsenal's problem, I thought. They weren't intense enough themselves. They weren't creative enough to try and force the issue. Everton win the ball back. Suddenly you've got to counter-attack from your own half. That's not as easy as Sean Dyche would have made out. And Arsenal started the attack again. That story happened over and over again today. And I thought Everton were miles off it.
And they are struggling at Goodison at the moment. Can either of you explain that? I mean, you've shown the contrast between Sean Dyche's first game in charge of Everton at home to Arsenal and today's game at home to Arsenal. The manager's the same. A lot of the personnel's the same on both sides as well. Yeah, can you explain it?
For me, the biggest problem they've had over those course of games, they can't score goals. Goals don't come to Everton easily.
I think if you go over the kind of the years when Leon was playing, whenever I was going there with Newcastle and with Spurs, they always had a top striker scoring goals, whether it was Saha, or Lukaku when he was there, and so on and so forth. They haven't had that for a number of years now, and that's one thing. Today, they just lack that biggest thing that they've always had, which is the ability to get that crowd going. It was like a public,
energy.
It was like a public park.
Yeah.
I've never heard Goodison Park so quiet ever, and that's down to the way that they approach the game today.
Yeah,
I mean, when Everton are saying they've not got a striker to get the ball into the back of the goal, and that's been an issue, but Everton didn't come out of their own half for large parts of this game. That is so unlike Everton teams I've ever been involved in, and it's a progression that the club seem to be moving further and further backwards on the field now as well, and that was so unlike a performance I've expected from Everton. I thought they'd come out on the front foot, get the ball wide, get crosses in, try and press Arsenal. If Arsenal play around you, so be it, but Everton were just far too passive right from the first whistle.
Dyche said there they've got problems at either end of the field. They are susceptible, it would appear at the moment, to a certain type of corner.
Well, yeah, I think, weirdly enough, it was Doncaster that kind of highlighted it in the League Cup against them. It was a short corners that was really catching them out. And it was the same again today. I think Arsenal just highlighted that Everton are very strong with balls just whipped into the box with players like Tarkowski and so on. You can see there they flood the 18-yard box but leave massive spaces on the edge. If Zinchenko takes a touch there and he can slide it to Bukayo Saka, then he would have had a shot on goal. Eventually comes out, they work it back round and they end up winning, so Pickford picks up the ball. Second corner, Ødegaard goes out again. Look at just Trossard here. It's interesting his position because he just finds this little pocket of space, and I think 9 times out of 10, Ødegaard just slides that to him. For whatever reason, he's not quite spotted him, he puts in a ball. So Arsenal are just trying to find a different angle. They're trying to move Everton around from their stable position. And this is exactly what they do here. So once that ball comes out onto the edge of the box where they should have someone anyway, Everton are now on the move. And this is where Arsenal at the best. 1 and 2 touch play. The finish from Trossard is absolutely sensational. And actually, from an Everton point of view, it's poor because it's 3 corners now they should have picked up on and haven't. From an Arsenal point of view, I mean, it's massive, but that's 2 games now. It's been the last 2 games that I've done of Arsenal.
Yeah.
The goal against Manchester United, where set pieces are having a massive impact in their season already in winning games. So it's something clearly they've worked on where they can see they can get huge gains. And already, the work of Arteta and his team in set pieces is paying off.
All right, so let me ask you the same question that I asked you 2 weeks ago, then, which is, if you see the same pattern over and over again, where's the responsibility? Is it for a player, or is it for a coach? Is it for an analyst? Where is it?
I think with the one at United, I felt like it was a mixed bag because they had the ability to go in at half-time, have a look at the scenario and say, we've got a problem at back post, let's sort it out. I think in this situation here, 2 of those corners happened in the space of about 5 minutes, or maybe even less, maybe 3 minutes. I think as players, if I can see 2 players on the edge of the box, alarm bells are ringing. And I'm going, somebody, you almost just need to threaten it even so that they don't play it. So I honestly believe it's the responsibility of the players to adapt and stop that.
I think it should be, and I think in our day it was, but I don't think that's the case now. I don't think players feel that they can make that kind of decision on the field. We've highlighted, Everton have defended set pieces like that all season long. They were completely caught out against League Two Doncaster.
But shouldn't the message then get to it? In an era where everybody seems to have an earpiece in and there's coaching staff and analysts, shouldn't somebody get a message to them?
Well, of course, and we're saying, can they change that on the field? Well, we're seeing game after game, Everton are still susceptible to that type of corner, and it's not being changed. So it's no surprise that Arsenal did their work on it. It's no surprise that Arsenal scored that important goal from it.